Happy Wednesday, everybody. Annalise and I work out of our Denver Tech Center office, which I think is our headquarters, right? Isn't that what we call our headquarters?
Yep.
Pretty sure. Yeah. We have another location, but I'm pretty sure that we're the headquarters. But anyway, we do a hybrid and we work Monday through Wednesday. So not only do I get in the office on Thursday and Friday from home, so not only do I get very excited about meeting with the agents on this, I also get very excited about the fact that it's Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. I get to hang out at home. And my wife and I always have a tradition where we like on Thursdays we like go out and we get the nice coffee from the favorite place that we have. And it's just nice. That's all.
Yep. I feel the same way about Wednesdays.
Lots to celebrate today.
Yes, lots to celebrate. Alrighty, folks. Well, today we're going to be doing the MGT demo. It's going to be going over the MGT platform. Some questions, if you guys have any, feel free to use the chat function. Jason will help me do that, and then we'll get started here. And I'll go ahead and get started. Everyone trickles in a little bit later. They can pick up right where we left off. So just to get started, some introductions. My name's Annalise, and I work in customer and broker success here at MGT Insurance. So if you, as an agent or your policyholder, needs any assistance, I work with the team in helping any sort of additional insureds, any policy questions, appetite questions. I'm your gal to help you with that. And I have my colleague here, Jason.
Who just does some things, who just hangs out with agents. Annalise does all the heavy lifting, and I just come on here and talk about how great Wednesdays are. No, I have the privilege of working side by side with Annalise to take care of agents all day long. And we do what we do because we love it. We love partnering with agents. I love working with the independent agent on a day-to-day basis. Anything that we can do to help y'all sell more MGT insurance business, we are here to support you. So yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome, Jason. So then we're going to go over some new classes today. We did just release restaurants, which is really exciting for us. I'm going to be getting into a demo, and then of course time for questions and some contact information. So first things first here is we have new classes. We've just released restaurant classes, and that includes restaurants that are a little bit more casual, not heavy lifting, like coffee shops, bagel shops, things of that nature. But really what's exciting is the full service restaurant. So things that are going to be an appetite for our first full service restaurants is they must close before 11 p.m. So no bar exposures. Less than 50% of alcohol sales. So there's got to be at least 50% of food sales happening in the establishment, and no tableside cooking. So hibachi, hot pot, Cape barbecue, things are like that are going to be out of appetite. Types of businesses that we are after: fast food with drive-throughs, okay, casual or fine dining, pizza shops, deli shops. One that we've heard that is pretty sought after is barbecue shops. So if they've got a barbecue, they've got a smoker, all of that's going to be okay. And then, like I mentioned, bagel shops, donut shops, ice cream, yogurt shops, juice shops, coffee shops. So any sort of food establishment that you see in your local shopping center will probably be able to insure it. So MGT is a great place to start those insurance quotes off. If you see for whatever reason the pricing doesn't look right or it looks way out of what you expected, give us a call. This is new to our classes, so we're really trying to find ways where we can be competitive in the market and provide a really high value product for our agents. So one other thing I want to note in the restaurant classes is food trucks are not going to be an appetite. So if a food truck moves from location to location, that's not going to fit on our appetite. But if it's a food truck that's in a permanent location, I know in Austin, Texas, there's a lot of coffee shops that operate out of a food truck, but they're in a permanent location. They have sort of a patio situation. That's going to be an appetite. So if the food truck doesn't move and it is in a permanent location, we can probably insure that restaurant business. Next, I'm going to go over the demo and a little bit over our website. Right here, you'll see an image of our new marketing website. Our team has just released this in the last few months. And so it's really nice to bring a new fresh face to mgtinsurance.com. Things that you can do at MGT Insurance is there's chat support. So like I mentioned, if your policyholder has any questions about MGT quotes or policies, you can use our chat feature right on our website. There's somebody like me or my team that's going to be there to assist you. We also have an Appetite agent, Amy, who's on our homepage here. If you go to Bob Appetite, she's going to be able to assist you in sort of appetite questions. So if you're working at midnight, after office hours, or on the weekends, but you want to get something placed, you can come use our Appetite agent, Amy, and she's going to be able to assist you and letting you know if what you're looking for is in our Appetite. And then right here, we're going to sign into the MGT platform. I'm going to go ahead and just show you. We'll sign in right here once you're appointed. And then we have our Appetite agent, Amy, right down here. You can ask her any questions. Can I write a tanning salon? And she's going to give me an answer here. Unfortunately, tanning salons are not in Appetite, but if something is in Appetite, we expect her to give us correct information here. Going back to the demo here, I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into the MGT platform. Let me just scroll over here. And I'm signed in here. So when you're signed into the MGT platform, you're going to be greeted with this sort of dashboard page. And you're going to be able to see right down here how it's laid out. So we have quotes and policies as an agent. You have all your quotes that you started live right here, evergreen. So if you come and change it or update it, that quote's going to stay here. The only time this quote is going to disappear is if you turn it into a policy. So all the policies that you issue with MGT Insurance all live under your policy tabs here. As an agent, you have the ability to assist your policyholders in all of their policy needs. So right here, if you go to self-service, I'm just going to dabble into the policyholder view. All policyholders have this same view. They can view their policies, they can manage their profile, they can get documents and communications. Just want to touch on your policyholders have the ability to get their certificate of insurance or their declaration page. And then right here, you see all the communication that's happened within MGT Insurance and this policyholder. So you can really empower your policyholder to take control of their policy here, get and make sure they have all the communications. If they have any sort of billing questions or billing needs, you can go ahead and direct them to the billing area, which is right here under payments home, right down here. I'm going to hop back into the agent view. So as an agent here, you want to start quotes with MGT Insurance and you want to start them as quickly as possible. So no need to remember agency or business codes. You can just start typing in here the type of business. So if we know we're looking for an auto parts distributor, I can select that here. It's going to let me know that that is a eligible class. Like I checked earlier with Amy, if I'm looking for a tanning salon, at any point, if you get red text throughout your quoting experience with MGT Insurance, that's going to be telling you, okay, this is going to be out of Appetite. Let me go find another market that's going to work for me. So like I mentioned, no need to remember industry codes, just off keywords. So for this demo, I'm going to go ahead and do a demo for one of our new classes, and that's going to be for a casual dining restaurant. So I'm going to go type in casual, and then I'm going to type in the address that I've got here. And this is going to be my local taco shop that I like to go to here in Denver, Colorado, that's opened recently. So we're going to go and run a quote for them. And so for this business right here, I see this was under construction, might have been an old image here, but this is a perfect example of how we're using Google Maps to verify the location, make sure it's a great risk. If my underwriter were to look at this right now, they would probably be a little bit scared, but they can go to Google and see the most updated images that's going to show this place completely renovated, new paint, no fences here. For this quote, I'm not going to insure the buildings, but building coverage is something that we offer here at MGT Insurance. As long as you don't fall in within a coastline or other property restrictions that we have in place, for the most part, we do offer building coverage. And then I'm going to say here that I don't own this building and I'm not operating out of a hotel or an apartment. And so just like that, we're going to get this quoting started process. You're going to do the business class, the address, and answer just a few questions. And then you jump straight into the quoting process here. I'm going to just cut real quick and jump into a quote that I've already started here for this exact exposure for the Chivis tacos that I have right here. So I'm going to jump right into that quote so you can see all the information I have already filled out. We're going to start in step 1 and then we'll go to step 2. So it's a four-step quoting process. And in step one here, we're going to be gathering all of the basics about the organization. Right here, do I provide any other services other than a food establishment? And my answer is no. Name of the organization, phone number, website, what percentage of sales is sold here of alcohol. Here it's 5%. They only sell some beer, nothing too serious here. And then all the business owner information here. I want to highlight that it's important that for the phone number here of the organization phone number and the business owner phone number, please make sure to use a valid phone number that your policyholder does use, because if for whatever reason we need to get in touch with them, we want to be able to do that on your behalf. So if a policy needs a payment or something, I want to be able to get in touch with the policyholder and not bother my agent so that they can continue selling policies and we can kind of help service a little bit. So if you make sure to put a valid phone number, not only helps you, it helps us. We're going to go ahead and continue here and still in step one of the quoting process, just more about the organization. When do I want coverage to begin? When was the business established? Getting an understanding of how many employees are in the organization. This is a small restaurant, but we can employ up to 100 employees in any exposure. So we can have the ability to insure up to 100 employees. Here we're going to ask a little bit more about previous insurance for this policy, wondering if there's any bankruptcy, wondering if there's any health violation codes. This quote process is a little bit longer because of the class. We're going to just make sure we're asking all the questions we feel necessary. If you were quoting something like a law office, something a little bit more simple, the quoting process is a lot more straightforward, just less questions. But the great thing about us asking all these questions up front, especially for a risk like this, is our goal is still to get this through without any sort of underwriting approval. We want to make sure that we have the tech confidence to underwrite this without having a human look at it. So that's why we're asking all these questions up front. Do we operate seasonally? Something that's going to make it out of appetite is if it operates after 11 p.m. If it's cooking table side, it's going to be out of appetite. But then right here, do you offer wait staff, things like that? Just getting a better understanding of this restaurant exposure or this food exposure here. We want to make sure that if alcohol is being served, that everybody is tips and serve safe certified. So if you know that this establishment doesn't have those standards and you answer no, it's going to make it out of appetite, because we want to make sure that all the alcohol and all the liability is covered. So this is an important thing to make sure if the establishment is selling alcohol, that they have this serve safe or tips certifications. And then making sure that they've never been in violation of any sort of liquor law, and then making sure there's no playgrounds or anything. So we'll continue here. That's all of step one that we've gathered basics about the business organization. Now we're going to get a little bit more into the activities of the business. Oh, that was step two. That's perfect. So then we're going to step three at this point, and we're going to get more information about the location here. So this is a BPP only policy. Want to know what the building looks like, how many square feet, if there's automatic sprinklers. And then again here, since this is a business exposure, we're asking questions like if the equipment is being cleaned and certified. Is it being cleaned by professional staff every 6 months? So aside from the daily cleaning that happens at the end of the night, making sure these restaurants are getting professionally cleaned every 6 months, making sure there's no buildup. And then also making sure that you have a service for any sort of extinguishing systems here. And then the total number of BPP in the building. You'll notice here that there's some question marks throughout this quoting platform. These question marks are here to help you understand if you're unsure what it is we're asking you. These little breadcrumbs will give you information to help you make better decisions for this quote. And at this point, we're stepping into the additional insured. So if there are additional insureds or you're not sure, make sure to ask this policyholder during the quoting process so that we can make sure to get all the information in the policy right off the bat. If you need to add additional insureds after, that's not a problem. We do that, but it is highly encouraged that you get all this information on the first half of the quote so that when the policy is released, all the information and all the coverages are correct. So for this policy, I have additional insureds here. A lesser of leased equipment and a manager or lesser of premises is what I've selected. And then we'll go ahead and continue here. At this point, I'm going to put in that additional insured's information at the payment area, making sure I'll insert that information there. So we have optional coverages here at MGT Insurance. You'll see here these optional coverages. For this exposure, I did decide I want to do restaurant coverage here. And then we're going to go a little bit more into what that restaurant coverage looks like here. So we're getting what the coverage includes, about how much I've selected. I want to do 10K of spoilage. I feel like that's going to be a good amount here. Again, making sure that all the equipment is serviced correctly, and then asking more questions here. And then we'll continue. And that's it. That's the 4-step process for this restaurant. Like I mentioned, it might seem a little bit long, but what it is that we're getting all the information we feel necessary so that we can get this quote in a bindable state without the underwriter. So all this waiting right here is us doing all the checking and scoring, making sure that we have all the questions we feel necessary. And I was able to get this quote through without any underwriting approval. The quote here is with MGT, you can pay in 2 ways. You can pay quarterly, 1 upfront payment and 3 payments afterwards for a total of $3,569. Or if the policyholder wants to pay right up front, $3,433. There's a little bit of an annual discount here. If you scroll down a little bit, all of this information here is all the coverages that we've decided we feel are good for this quote. You'll notice here that the liquor liability for this restaurant is included in this quote. So that's a really extra thing that we've done here at MGT Insurance. If you're in one of the 7 states where we do not have liquor liability, you'll see that this is not present in the quote. And then you'll just see all the information here. So at this point, you've decided you talk to the policyholder, they want to move forward with this quote. We're going to go into showing you how to pay for this quote. So paying for this quote is pretty easy. There's one of 2 ways you can do so. You can pay it if the policyholder is in your office or you're on the phone, you have their credit card information. We can go ahead and pay this right now. Or you can send the quote to the policyholder. When you send the quote, oh, before I get into that, this is where I mentioned the additional insured. So right before we make the payment here, we want to make sure to capture all the additional insured information. You'll see here that I have this restaurant equipment that I've leased, and then also the commercial real estate where I leased the business from, where it's located. So I've gathered all that information here. I agree that that is safe, and we'll agree. And so now that additional insured is going to be included in the policy and all the policy docs. So back to the payments here, there's 2 ways to pay. You can send to prospect. When you send to prospect, you're going to send them an email. That email is going to notify them, hey, this quote is bindable, the MGT platform. They'll create their password, their account through this email. They'll make the payment. As soon as they make the payment, they're going to accept authorization terms, and that policy is bound. The second way that we can do this is you can purchase it right in the moment if the policyholder's with you or on the phone and you have that billing information. The way this billing looks right now is the same way that it looks as if you were to send it to your policyholder. I'm going to say I'm going to pay this annually. I'm going to pay via credit card. I'm going to put in this card number here. We do use a third-party payment server, so everything is secure for you and your policyholders. Everyone can rest assured that all this information is saved. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Save Card. And then I'm going to put in my billing zip code. We do encourage automatic payment here. It is automatically selected, and this is to avoid any sort of payment issues. We've recently had some policies who do not have automatic payment, and getting in touch with the policyholder and reinstating a policy is something that we want to avoid, because since a policy has been reinstated, if they still don't have auto pay and it cancels again for whatever reason, we will not reinstate that policy. So we highly encourage auto pay. And then here we're just going to confirm the business information, the business owner's information. Again, that contact phone number is important for us. We'll go ahead and click agree, and we'll submit payment. Let me just put this in real quick so we can get the full experience. Again, we want to make sure to put an email address that you know that the business owner does use for all communications. That's how we communicate: first email, then phone. Then I'm going to go ahead and submit the payment. And so you'll see here that through this demo process, I was able to get the quote started, get a price, put the payment information in, and as of tomorrow, I'm going to have this policy for my policyholder. It's important at this point that you tell the policyholder, hey, you're going to get an email from MGT Insurance. Make sure to follow through on those emails. You're going to log in, create your password, accept terms and conditions, and everything will be set. The policy will be in effect for the buying date. Just highlight down here under my quotes area, that quote went away for Chivi's Tacos. If I go over to policies, it might be there. It might take a couple of minutes. What I suspect it will take just a minute here to get over. So folks, it really is that easy right now with MGT Insurance to get your policies from quote to bind in 10, 15 minutes or less. You'll see here, I have the new business Chivis Tacos right here. At MGT, we've built this really great product, and what we have coming next is going to be even better. So I'm really looking forward to having you guys get comfortable with this platform, but seeing what we have coming down here in the next few months is going to be very exciting, trying to make everyone's life easier by using tech, but also the humans behind the tech that make it really great. I'm going to jump back into the slideshow here, folks, and give some time for any questions, if there's any questions.
So we haven't had any submitted yet, but
Awesome.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Chivi's Tacos a real business?
It is a real business off Colfax. I would say it's probably the best tacos in Denver. They have the best birria tacos. I've tried over 30 spots in Denver, and that's probably the best one.
Okay, cool. Well, then I'm gonna have to check that out. We did get a question from Kurt. Thank you, Kurt. Are there plans to add California?
You know what, Kurt? That is a great question, and there are plans to add California. We are working diligently on that. We've just released restaurants. California seems to be in our next focus, along with contractors. So I couldn't give a timeline on it, but I know that the team is working on it diligently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would add to that that they have been working on it pretty much all year long. So word on the street is that we're hoping that it closes within the next month or two. But Kurt, if you're asking this, you probably are familiar with how the DOI works out there. You just never know. But we're hoping we're really close. We've gone back and forth with them a little bit, and we think that we're close to getting that offered. So yes, absolutely.
Awesome. And then what I'll leave you guys with here is our contact information. So if you need to get in contact with us, MGT Insurance, the chat support is the best place to start. You can also email support at MGT Insurance. That's sort of our general support email. And then underwriting at mgtinsurance.com. So as we grow, we have grown our underwriting team, and we're seeing that submissions are kind of not piling up, but the 24-hour SLA is running those full 24 hours. So if you need something that worked within the same business day, get in contact with our underwriting team or get in contact with our chat, and we can see if we can move that up. But one of the best things about success is that you have a lot of information coming at you. So we're doing our best to keep up, but highly encourage you guys reaching out if there's any sort of reason for expediting. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining today. I'll give you just about 10 minutes back in your day. I really enjoy doing these demos. And if you need anything, do not hesitate to reach out. We're here to help you guys out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great day.